Alright, welcome back to a series of Wonders events. I'm your humble DM Robin, joining us today by Stefan, our human sorcerer Riveni, uh,
Yep.
Nathan, play as Viking, or as my Paladin, and Kat, play as Tully, or Wood Elf Rogue. Uh, yeah, and we're celebrating Chinese New Year. So a little bit of the stuff will be related to dog themed stuff, so just as Viking suggested. Alright, and you guys will find out later on. Alright, so previously, the team finally defeated the dracolich, which is super annoying and threatened to terrorize the town. However, the team managed to kind of defeated him in the process of closing up the portal. Maybe closing up the portal? They're not entirely sure because they were too busy trying to find their friends and trying to save their friends. Because Lavinia, apparently, she's got hit by the Dracolich's last failed attempt to try to slaughter them, and in the process, she's cursed slash poisoned by the Dracolich's claw. And what Viking and the others found out that it is similar to the poison and slash curse that they once saw before, that was used by the Quickling assassin Flash, and that is when they're trying to find, well, at least a cure. However, uh, Alethea insisted that there's someone back in her homeland that can help, and insisted on bringing Lavinia through the portal. Viking had no choice but to drop her by using the drow poison arrow and, yeah, making her unconscious. So right now you're on the wreckage of the street, and you just see a bunch of Z's falling down. On both sides, the town seems totally wrecked because uh, almost none of the houses is intact. You can see claw marks. You can see broken walls everywhere. You can even see human flesh that's attached to the wall. It must be when the Z's drag the innocents throughout the street and eat them, or well, at least the ones that are not compelled turn in the first place. So yeah, it's a total mess. What would you like to do at this point?
Uh, so in my kind of nervous wreck sort of state right now,
Yeah, you're
um, I'm,
exhausted
uh,
and on the wreck.
like I'm sort of gonna start walking around because I'm not because sort of say I sort of start looking for where Brightest went off to because I don't think I'm aware of what happened to her for a little while ago.
Oh, Bright Eyes. Uh, she got knocked out. Remember? She was
Well, I
scouting, and
well
then
is like she is Ravinia aware of that though?
Well, if you're looking for it, Tyler will be like, "Oh, you looking for Bright Eyes? Oh, I was next to him. They got
yeah,
it hurt."
yeah. It's not broken. It's back to you now. Thank goodness, it's back on your belongings. It's revert back down to a tiny size figurine. Yeah, and it's in your belonging. It's not moving
Yeah,
around like usual, so you know it's hurt.
I just sort of go oh no, sorry about that to 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 Bright Eyes. I sort of just plug her away for now,
Yeah.
and I sort of just looking to everyone else at this point, just sort of just sort of saying well, what are we supposed to do now?
Uh, Viking still unconscious by the touch of the dracolich. Currently, you guys can resolve your problems first. Then we'll deal with what is happening to Viking currently.
Is he
I was-
unconscious?
Yeah,
I thought I
I thought
just
he
got
was.
No.
you were
I,
unconscious.
I
Not
Mm.
entirely unconscious, but more like you were
Oh,
went down into a sleep. Yeah.
Okay,
On the
that's
last
bad.
time. Yep.
I'm going to check whether princes were vaporized and see if they left anything useful.
Yeah. You don't see
I-
anything else. Roll me an investigation check first.
I remember Viking being like knocked over a bit by like that explosion, but not him being unconscious.
No. He's went down. Instead of like wounded and knocked, like entirely unconscious, it's more like he's been dropped. Something happened, causing him to go into a coma or sleep. Yep.
Like what we saw on the coast? Is this the same thing?
Yeah. Make an intelligence check. For Lavinia, if you want to check as well, it's up to you.
I'm having a bad day.
Yeah. You guys are tired. Oh, by the way, Lavinia, because of your exhaustion, you have disadvantage
What?
on ability
Oh.
checks as well. So yeah, none of you notice anything. You just think he's totally fine, but how is he like dropping to sleep right now? Is it really that tiresome? Like, you guys get it? It's really tiring to fight a like gigantic dracolich, but sleeping in the like after you finish the battle right away is like kind of weird. It's kind of weird.
I sort of just slumped down against the nearest wall and like so I had like my knees curled up to my chest and like moving like my hands or my hair, just
Rainy,
trying to.
just breathe for a moment. We're going to find somewhere safe. Not out in the open where we're going to get ambushed again. I don't want to do that twice in one day.
Yeah.
And I'm going to parkour up to the roof and see if I can see a straight shot to anywhere intact.
Okay. As you parkour up the roof, let's go back to Viking. See what happens to him. Viking, you are seeing things in a really weird perspective. As if you are lying on the ground, and from what you can look around, you see the barren lands you once saw before when you were inside of that portal. You don't see any livings. Like, the land is so barren, you just don't see any creatures that could survive this harsh condition. And as you try to like look around, you see like boots, like kind of the boots that were worn by like maybe nobles, because these are the fancy boots that have like trimmings and linings that like dressed up the entire boots. And as you look a little bit upwards, you still can't move per se, but you think you're looking through someone else's perspective. So you see those three remaining, what you assume as cultist leaders are gathering around talking. Roll me a perception check to see what you can hear. All right. You do speak Celestial, right?
Yes.
Okay. So they were talking in a song-like tune. Like, Celestials are usually composed of like music as well as poetry, so they formed a nice, elegant language. However, there's some sort of brute like inside of the language they speak. It's not the language itself. It's more like they were intentionally trying to maybe insult, maybe trying to like just like address their anger or something. But anyway, it's kind of an untuned song that sounds like really harsh to hear to you, and you heard most of them discussing about what an epic failure this is, and how are the cultist cell unable to stop you guys, and how they're gonna get punished if they're not dead already. Or, there are plenty of ways to torture someone even when they're dead. So yeah. And you heard that the one that sounds more like a grumpy male kind of saying like, what do we do about him? You got this hint that he's probably talking about you. And the others continue to say he's in due time he will be a proper sacrifice. But for now, the orders are to leave him alone. And the grumpy voice just continues, says, but for how long? He's within our grasp. We should take him before anything else stops us. And the other voice just continues saying, no, it is from the highest of the order. The Lord wants his vessels intact. And each day, with his powers grow, he'll become more and more suitable for his possession. And that's when your voice, you think the connection kind of gets severed, and that's when you wake up.
I like immediately go straight like to a 90-degree angle. It's like,
Yeah.
which is
As we're standing right next to you, and he just looks down at you and says,
I see this and
okay? Yeah.
I see this and I sort of go up to him and start actually like there you are. Are you okay? You just went to sleep on us for some reason. What happened?
nothing. The thing exploded with a bit more force than I was expecting. We could talk about that later. I don't think this is a good place to have those conversations.
All right. Do you want
on the ground and Kat or Tully's sister's like underneath me because I was carrying her.
Yeah. All right. First of all, do you wish to, like, not in a way of deceive, but more like, do you not want Ravinia to know that you're a virgin?
No, I'll tell later, but
Okay.
not right now.
Not
Is not
right
the
now.
time.
All right. So
We've been attacked way too many times, and
yeah, in one night, to be precise. All right, for Ravinia, you think that Viking for now, he wants to tell you guys, but this is really not the time nor the place. So yeah, the man's got to.
And I just sort of just let out this sort of like explosive sigh, and I sort of just go like, "Oh, all right, so, well, come on then. We better get out of here, I guess."
I lean over from the roof and just go, "Welcome back, Sleeping Beauty. Which direction are we headed?"
Oh, for Tolly first, roll me perception check first. You were looking for the best route, right?
I'm looking for somewhere safe, but if Vakeen has somewhere he wants me to scope.
Okay. So
check the mansion is probably what I'm thinking.
Yeah. From what you can tell, since you kind of destroyed one of the sacrificial circle, you see most of the house currently, although broken and battered, there's not much Z's left on the so on the nearby either like roof or either on the streets. There's not much Z's left. And to your surprise, the Evergreen Mansion, kind of from looking afar, it kind of looks fine. Nothing seems to be damaged. Well, at least that's what you can tell from about 100 yards or something away. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
They're taking the hobbits to Isengard, but the mansion looks clear. It's
Yeah, for now.
head in that direction before it gets worse again.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna pick up.
Place, I guess.
I'll stand up and pick up your sister,
Mm-hmm.
and the other one is with.
Yeah,
I think
Taz got Lavinia.
Yes.
She's fine. Yeah. For now.
I'm gonna come over to Tully and tell her to give me her hand. Like I'm gonna reach for her hand,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
and it's the only thing I have left to do. And I'll do healing hands, which is a racial for Azamar,
Mhm.
and you get 6 points of healing,
Nice.
health equal to my level.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So,
You've just
Yeah,
doubled my health.
yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
completely spent at this
A
point.
little bit better. Yeah. Everyone's super tired at this point. So.
Thank
I'm
you.
like, let's go.
Mm-hmm.
Away.
All right. So all of you just continues to walk down the streets. There are occasional Z's
take a point,
popping
yeah,
in and
keeping an eye.
out. What? Oh, sorry.
I'll keep a watch for anyone that's waiting in the wings.
Okay. So you don't see any cultists left. You do see, however, a few of the Z's that are warning about. But they kind of just walks around and, like, in the meantime crumbles into dust. Like, just slowly crumbles and, like, slowly fade away. So you think that whatever this ritual does, it does get the downside that once the pillars that were supporting this magic is destroyed, all the undead that was caused by it will just, like, fade away eventually. So you can just go up and fight them, or do you wish to just avoid them, ignore them, and just continue to the mansion? It's up to you.
At this point, it's probably a void.
Okay.
Yeah, if someone sneezes on me, I will die.
Yeah. All right. So.
I also,
Okay.
as we're walking,
Mhm.
I look to Tully and I'm like, if anyone asks specifically, and I point to her because I can't remember her name, Lavinia.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, she must have got knocked out when the explosion happened, and I show the arrow and I wink at her. I'm like, yes, the explosion, and I like put it back.
I just look at you and go, well, thank you. Oh my god.
Maybe.
Like, because I know she's a hothead. I know that she would have panicked and, like, and I'm just like, this is. But, oh.
You just got really frustrated, but still, like, well, anger as you are right now, you
Because thank you for protecting her from herself.
Yeah.
Like,
at least
Well,
she's
it was-
okay right now.
You know, the best avenue is probably healing here, or they were planning on going through the portal, and
yeah, no,
it just sounded like a horrible idea.
we need to get back to Neverwinter. There has to be another magic user around here to take us back to the clerics.
We go through portals like every other week, so
Yeah.
I'm sure it won't be a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
because my one ticket Vandenar wasn't Vandenar and left us to die. So there's also that to resolve. They'll likely want to know because
For you, Viking, that's the
that was the first.
first time you heard of this, so anyway.
Okay,
Yeah. All right. So
I have
you
a
guys-
list, and you are on it. All of them will die.
Well, okay. No, for now, you guys are all back on your feet. I'm gonna remove this. Sorry. And you're moving closer and closer towards the Evergreen Mansion. To your surprise, you don't see. First, there's a gigantic pile of ash that's been piling on top of the mansion, and like the front gate, anywhere else. So it's really hard to see inside, but by the looks of it, by the peeking through windows and like gaping holes, you see no guards in the mansion. You're at the front gate. You walk about like 30 minutes or so. You don't see any guards in the front gate.
Well, at least there's no zombies, right?
True.
Is the gate broken open or is it intact?
It's halfway broken. Like the bars, the metals are bent. You can see by the dents on the bars that they are battered by the Z's that were trying really hard to get through, but it looks like it holds. Although it's halfway broken, it still holds.
Okay.
What would you like to do?
I guess we just carry on inside, just keeping an eye out in case there are any stragglers just going, hello.
Right. First, when you're at the front gate, since it's blocked, do you wish to enter by force or just yell out, hello? Are you in there?
Is like
I'm gonna sort of
The
try
gate
and
is locked. However, one side of the door is like bent inwards. So you can see that the lock still holds and everything still holds, but one side of it's halfway broken.
is it like enough of an opening that I could like try and squeeze my way through, possibly?
Not really, but you can try to jump over it if that's
can
what you
I
want
help
to do. It's
here
about
and just like
it's about 10
Yeah,
feet.
okay.
Yeah. So yeah.
I like sort of go to tell her can you give me a boost in a sec? I'm gonna try and
Alright.
try and go in there.
Ready?
Alright.
3,
Yep.
2, 1, yeet.
Acrobatics check with no disadvantage because of the boost.
God damn it, of course.
Yep. You were so exhausted and tired that you lost your footing midway and you slammed your face on against the barred gate. Like, oh, that would have hurt in the morning. Yeah.
Oh, why?
So
I'm just going like, why? I don't need this on top of that.
right. So Rainy
Did she
just,
make it up? Or,
yeah,
or...
just like slowly slide onto the ground, like, ow, my face hurt, kind of stuff.
Tell you what, I'll pull you up.
Okay, maybe that'll work better.
All right. So
Acrobatics as well.
okay, yeah. All right. You like.
Thank you.
It's probably because you're like adrenaline or whatever, or trying to show off in front of Ravani to rub it in her face. But anyway, you.
I feel really bad about like flinging her into the pole the first time, and so I'm just like.
Anyway, you leap through the gate with ease, and you landed in a superhero landing, just 3 points, and yeah. Don't even bat an eye. All right, so you're inside the gate. You tried for a bit, and eventually unlocked the lock. Yeah, so the gate is now open. You still don't hear anyone or anything inside the mansion, though, which is weird because last you guys saw, they were doing okay. They were doing quite okay, actually.
We need to barricade this out behind us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was going to relock it. And
Okay. Yeah. So you just relock it. Yeah.
Right.
The gates is the half broken gate is probably beyond your.
is there like a bench or something that we can just drag over the broken bit?
Stone like benches. Like inside the mansion, you would expect like a really nice view. Like there are a large fountain in the middle, and you see like the houses are really like noble styled house with marble stones and like tall building walls and everything. Okay, sorry, go ahead.
Before we go any further, I do have mending as one of my cantrips.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
Yeah. So once Tally sort of helps open the gate for us, and after she like closes it, I actually sort of remember at that moment that I can do a bit of like quick mending with whatever limited magic I have left. So I am going to try and start casting mending on the gate.
Okay.
To see if that'll help repair it.
Okay. So you cast mending on the gate. Totally to your surprising eyes and to Viking's surprising eyes, you see the gate kind of and bent itself back in place as the bars and everything just kind of reattach itself to the right spot and make the gate like kind of recovered. There is still like a slight slide. You can see the angles are not precise because maybe some of the damage is too heavy. Maybe the component's not enough to fully recover it, but at least it looks fine. It can withstand more hits from the Z's later on, if that ever happens. So yeah.
I just think like I feel this little trick would come in handy one day.
When I see this, I just kind of giggle under my breath.
Yeah.
There's like this big smirk on my face when I see this. I'm like,
Nice look, little bird. All right.
That's not awkward.
Not
To the
awkward.
dungeon.
All right. So the entire mansion, it looks it had its glory once, but right now it's more reduced to a average level of states, either by the Z's or by the ages that have been passed down through generations. This is an old house. Yeah. So you walk towards the main house right in front of you. You see the wooden doors are wide open. The heavy wooden doors that you would expect to see in a normal noble's house, it's wide open. Do you wish to walk in, or
Were they forcibly opened, or did someone?
you think they're just open? It's
Oh.
probably judging by the way they're open, it looks open from the inside, and the door seems intact. So probably the guards were trying to fortify the outer walls. So they opened the doors, make it easier for them. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just tell the rest of the group, keep your wits about you. They may not be expecting company, so just heads up.
Yeah.
This wasn't forced open, but movement in this kind of invasion, it's a shoot first, ask questions later kind of economy.
I'm gonna.
I turn to her and go like, should we not announce ourselves then?
Oh, just very loudly before no stealthing, very loud.
I already am like, hello, like really loudly. This wasn't my fault. I'm just letting you know now.
Right.
I sort of go in after him and sort of try and call like, hello, like, Miss Whitehall, are you in there somewhere? It's us. We're back. We came back.
We're here for our reward. I mean, Wait, no,
Yeah.
no, scrap that.
As you yelled that you were back for the reward, you heard footsteps coming from within, and then you see Maria. She came out like her like entire armor are covered in blood and gore, and her face is like you see like really bad like smoke or whatever has covered her face, and looks like she's got some wounds and like still maybe still bleeding underneath the cloth because you can see like the blood is seeping out. But she doesn't really seem to care at that moment. She looks really sad at this point and looks at you guys and says, "Come in." There's
Hey,
not
we
much
matched.
left. Yeah.
This isn't my fault. This is the first thing I say when I see her.
She looks at you and says, "I know," which makes it even worse.
Okay, so we're on the same page. It's not my fault, right? Just like reiterating that it's not my
she
fault.
looks at you a little bit confused and says, "Do you wish it to be your fault?"
I sort of come up and go like, that's not important right now, Viking. And then I turn to Briaz and say like, what? We have someone with us who's really badly hurt, and we need some place to set it to at least like set her down or something. Is there anywhere in this place where we could
Mm-hmm.
like set her down and maybe rest up for a bit? Or?
Do you have an infirmary or dungeon or something we can use to
You guys
Yeah,
can
something like
rest
that.
here.
let them recover?
Maria just looks really tired and sad at this point. She just says, "You guys can rest here. We got a side house that was meant for the guards, which is none of them are left. So make yourself."
It's
at home."
just you.
Yep.
Is there anyone else, Lady Whitehall?
You look inside. You see coffins like laying around, like all the way from the main gate to inside the long hallway. It's about as you can tell, it's about 30 or 40 coffins just lies there. And she just says, "They're all gone."
I'm so sorry.
Me too. And she just turned inside and just walks. Alright. What do you wish to know?
Where the hell did she get 30 coffins from?
Yes. So you can't really tell, but you think that those coffins are newly made.
Reused?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
the other thing is,
Mm-hmm.
the guards didn't get turned? Because I thought that's how this ritual works, is
Yeah.
people die and then get turned, and it's a cascading effect.
Do you wish to look inside the coffin?
I'll be like, I mean no disrespect, my lady. I'm going to say a little prayer over
Mm-hmm.
the deceased, and I'll open it up and try and do something fancy,
Okay.
religious wise.
Okay. She.
Meanwhile, inspecting.
Yeah, she nods and like. It doesn't seem to matter, but if you insist, then okay. And she just leads you to one of the coffins. You see, the coffin slightly opens up as she moves it. As she moves the cover, you see like the guards that are. This is the one you once saw before. the one that were fighting in the front gate with Maria before you guys went to fight the dracolich. So you are certain this is the guard. It
I'm
just
like,
surprised you.
do you remember
they're
his
not
name?
turned.
Milady?
It will be Gary.
Gary?
Yes.
So I'm totally going to do a perception check when she opens up.
Okay.
17.
Okay. So you inspect Gary. Gary looks fine, actually. He does have battle-worn body. You see, the reason of his death is probably by the claw on the neck. You see the claw that were like almost crushed his like neck in half, and so that's probably the way why he died. However, other than that, he's not turned. He's not turned. He's not a zombie at all. And B, he looks, other than the wound that was there, he looks clean. Not unlike a man who once fought a battle like so harsh. You think probably Maria like cleaned it up or cleaned him up or whatever. Yeah. So.
There's been a lot of care given to the body afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of weird for.
Yeah, especially
like,
for a battle
frame that's
that
going on.
happens so shortly, and
Yeah,
like, especially when it ends so shortly afterwards. So yeah.
So then I'll say a ritual. I'll say like a prayer, like, may your battle in life be ended, and you rest peacefully in the afterlife, or something along those lines.
Mm-hmm. Okay. As you finish your prayer, nothing seems to happen. He seems still like
Rise, my
yeah.
demon!
Yeah, he's not gonna
That's my
rise
prayer.
at this point. Yeah, but still, like he looks like a man that died like peacefully. Like you see the expression turn after you finish the prayer. You're not sure if it's just you or if he really his facial expression really loosens, but it feels like he's at peace right now. At least that's what you think. Yeah.
I'm like, so are you planning on burying them, or
There will be
funeral
a proper
pyre? Like, what are we
burial.
doing here?
There will be a proper burial afterwards, but not now.
I look to the others. I'm like, burn me if it ever happens. I don't want to come back.
There are still a number of ways for you to come back, even without a body. But that's beyond point. I'm really tired today. I've lost a
While
lot
the
of good
king
men
is,
in the battle.
yeah.
And if you'll excuse
It's
me,
something we can worry about tomorrow.
yeah.
You go rest, and we'll keep watch and over throughout the night.
Mm-hmm.
I'm guessing it's still night.
Yeah, it's about 2 or 3 in the morning. It's like really early morning, so yeah.
and while Vakeen was kind of inspecting the coffin, I kind of like got Maria to sit down and stopped as much of her bleeding as I could.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So she just lets you to tend to the wound, and she just continues as your friend. He was alerted by something, and he went out to chase after it. I'm not sure.
Did he
if
tell you where he went, and was it the tower perchance?
Yeah. Actually, it is exactly the tower, and
I told him to wait for me. Oh no.
I'm not entirely sure, so I sent my best company to follow him.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
If anything, if they're with him, they probably stood a very good chance of surviving.
Let's hope so. Well,
Does Milady have any alcohol? You know,
well,
for
it's
the
in.
wounds.
We got that in the wine cellar, and just down there. Take whatever you need.
Thank you.
And she just points to the direction. You see like a stairway going downwards. The stone carved stairway just goes downward and into like a small wooden door beneath the first floor. Yep. So yeah.
I don't know. Never mind.
What would you like to do? Go ahead.
I looked at Kaz and I'm like, you know what I'm thinking, right? And I pull out the bag of holding. It's like a kid on Halloween, like
Yeah.
with a trash bag, like trying to open it up as big as possible. Just like,
Kaz look at you like kind of says however, the bag of holding does have its limit. I don't think we can stuff that much inside. And besides,
I like start pulling dead bodies out of the bag. I'm like, we can make room. Just like,
what dead bodies? What are you talking about? Anyway,
there is no dead bodies in the bag of holding right now.
Yeah.
There's several pounds of fish.
Yeah.
And when I'm like fish, I'm like, Cora, Cora.
Cora just reappears on top of your head and just says,
I'm
just
like, oh, thank God you're safe.
Of course. I always let you puny humans do the battles so I can sit around and be pretty, you know. That's just what I do. So, what do you call? Why do you call? Anything important?
I have fish.
Okay. She just leaps down and starts eating. It's like,
I pull out like a pound of fish, just like, here you go.
Yep. Yeah, she just
I haven't seen her in a while.
Yeah, she just sits on top of the fish and starts eating. Yeah, you notice that there are a few circles around her tails that looks weird because you never noticed that before. Before that, she's just a pure like black cat with no other patterns or anything else. But now you see like 3 small circles that are around her tails currently. Yeah.
Like, did you get into a fight or something? Why is your tail all marred up?
More like a victory. But that's beyond the point. Fish is my priority. And she just keeps on gorging. Just eating. Yeah.
So who's carrying like the sister of Tali who's like
Kaz is
heavily-
actually carrying Lavinia, and Viking was carrying Alethea. I'm not sure if he ever handed her to her.
I figured he set her down next to me and Maria while he inspected the coffin.
Okay.
Right.
So, Tali, roll me an perception check when
Okay.
Viking handed you over Alethea.
Just like dump her.
I see into the future.
Yeah, you think because of your first contact with the poison, you think Viking might have dropped her with the same type of poison.
Yeah, and he told me as much, which matches, and I'm just like, well, better unconscious than running off doing something stupid. It's
Yeah.
She can be
That's what
hard-headed sometimes. Yeah.
yeah, because I ran off and nearly died, so I'm assuming the same thing happened.
Yeah. So, you guys decide to rest for the night, for the evening, after you finish your day?
The one that was like casting dispel magic and crap on me last session. Which one was that?
Casting dispel
That-
magic. That will be Alethea, I believe.
Alethea. That's not Tully's sister, right?
That is Tali's
Yeah,
sister.
Alicia's the sister.
More like her
Lavinia's the
cousin.
trainer.
Lavinia
well-
is the godmother or the mother figure of Tully. So the one that went.
I'm not
into
happy with that one.
conscious.
I don't really like her.
Really? Okay.
Is there a free coffin by chance?
You don't see a free coffin actually.
It seemed
Yeah.
like somewhere comfy to sleep for the night.
No.
Yeah, it's up to you.
Can
it's
I-
up to you.
Waking up out of poison.
Yeah.
Can I help Tali like
Sorry.
set
No, it's
set
fine.
Lavinia like down somewhere
Mm-hmm.
somewhere at least remotely comfortable, or
Okay. So you happen to see a few like couches around in the corner. They must have cleared it out of the way, so that it won't be like
That's I meant to not do
okay
that.
light. Okay. So you cast
No, I
light.
wanted to see how long. I want to see how long it was. Not
Oh, okay.
actually cast it.
Okay.
Sorry.
So yeah, that's fine. For Ravani, you just move one of the couches towards them and just like gently lay the body down. Yeah, there are a few more couches for you to sleep on, and at this moment, you don't think that going upstairs will be a wise choice because there are a lot of wooden barricades that were set in the way. Probably a precaution to stop if the Z's came in, charging in. So yeah.
I sort of just I, s- I sort of just go to Italian and just sort of say, I'm sorry.
It's okay. She's gonna be fine. We're gonna find someone. She's gonna be fine.
Yeah, I hope so.
Better here than in that squalid hellhole that you and I experienced through the portal.
Oh, yeah, that was a wasteland. That was nothing. This is nothing.
That's where she wanted to run off to with an injured comrade. This is what's best.
Thank you.
She'll probably want to kill me afterwards.
Oh, that's normal. It'll blow over real quick. Yeah.
I have more arrows. I'm okay.
I'm hoping you won't need them, but
I want to barricade. I want to get like the biggest couch and barricade the door from the inside.
Okay. Yeah. So you easily barricade the door with a few other like. There are already like a wooden barricade on top of the door. It just Maria must have left the door open and open it up when she's trying to lead the army. So you just place it down, put it in place, and just close the entire door. Yeah.
If there's any like broken windows or stuff nearby, would I be able to sort of try mending any of them with like with mending or?
Okay. There are a few broken like couches. Instead of windows, they must have broken all the furnitures, like most of the furnitures. They clear most of the furnitures out of the way. They broke some in order to barricade the windows. So the windows are intact by itself, but yeah. Other than that,
I'm mostly just like deliberately like busying myself to just sort of like keep myself distracted from like from the emotions or like thoughts and feelings that are sort of rolling around in my head right now.
okay. So you probably just unintentionally mend a few chairs and like like wooden like maybe ladders or stuff like that. Just randomly mend them just to keep your minds occupied. Yeah, you can totally do that. So you guys, for Viking, you were in the wine cellar, right? You were.
Yeah, I'd go down to the wine cellar.
Yeah.
Yep.
So when you are in the wine cellar, roll me for an investigation check. Perception first. Perception first. Sorry. Perception first, then investigation.
12.
Okay, investigation.
9.
All right. You look around. The wine cellar looks fine. You grab a few top shelf stuff that looks whatever it looks. It was well hidden, so it looks probably top shelf. Yeah. Other than that, nothing else catches your attention.
Yeah, I'm not gonna raid her liquor cabinet. We need, is there anything other than wine?
The wine cellar only contains wine, but she does mention the kitchen. If you guys ever get hungry and try to get some food.
Yeah, wine's not really any of any worth, like to sterilize
Mm-hmm.
your wounds or anything like that. So I'll only grab like 2 bottles.
Okay. So you grab 2 bottles. Yeah. Do you wish to go to the kitchen or just stay in the living room just to heal and rest?
No, I'm gonna go to the kitchen as well because this is, my instincts tell me that always take food and beverage when you can because you never know.
Yeah, true. All right, survivor's instinct. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So you walk into the kitchen. You look around. There's a gigantic shield, like symbol of the family, probably, that lies on top of the fireplace. And you see, like, on the left, the kitchen is huge. It's about 20 feet wide. And you see, like, a lot of kitchen stuff. So, knives, plates, and all that kind of food that were lying around on one side. And the other side are like some kind of water place and like just basic kitchen stuff. So on the right you see a few like foods on probably still some of them probably still warm, judging by the heat it looks like. Yeah. On the pot there is still a soup boiling, but it looks like it's almost boiling dry. So
I'll grab whatever I can
all right.
for both me and the others.
All right. Another investigation check. All right.
7.
Yeah, you managed to grab a few of the food and like some bread, some ham, and as well as some fruits, and that's about it. Yep.
I also grab a couple of plates, and
all right. So the kitchen
I head back
knives,
to the others.
Yeah. So the kitchen knives are not that sharp, but yeah, there are whetstones inside the kitchen, so you can use that to sharpen it up. But yeah,
I'm sure that we can figure it out.
So Mark,
Tolly, I'm sure, has a blade that can shank a bit of ham.
So mark that as small daggers. Just daggers. Yeah.
Just one?
Daggers. So you get about 3 actually. You get about 3 kitchen daggers. Yeah. So mark the food you find in the kitchen as rations. So it's about 2. Could provide.
I'm not gonna put it in my inventory. I'm like literally just gonna take it and put it down on the table.
Okay.
And it's like eat. And like even like Lavinia, if she's in like a her kind of out of it state, I'm like, you need to eat.
Okay.
Yeah, I sort of jump a bit, but yeah, I do like sort of step out at that point, and I'll just sort of like go with him, yeah.
And I like uncork the wine and just like drink right from the thing. I'm like, bleh, and hand it over to the others. I'm like, will you take the opportunity to eat whenever you can? It's just as important as sleeping. So fill up. Who knows when we'll have a nice another meal like this. This place doesn't really seem like we're going to be sticking around for much longer.
Okay. I just grab the wine bottle from him and just chug and then toss it down.
Alright, so you guys start eating and drinking. It's like the meal has quite soothing because it's been so long since you guys ever had a like decent rest. Well, it felt like it, although it's only been about a night or so. But
still, breakfast in Vandermeer's mansion with the princes. How was that?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
There's just too much stuff happen in a small amount of time. So yeah.
Yeah, but when I actually start sleeping, I just like unconscious right away because of my exhaustion. Because of like exhaustion I already had. So
yeah, so you just falls into a sleep while you're eating, basically. Yeah. So one by one, are you guys taking watch or just
I'm gonna stay awake as long as possible.
okay? Though exhausted and tired, you still manage to stay awake.
Yeah.
Just just enough for you to scout anything happens. The night was peaceful, a little bit too peaceful for your taste because after all the noise and everything, uh, it just feels weird that there's not even the sound. Like the land looks completely dead. Well, by the sound of it, sounds completely dead.
No animals, no nothing, no people. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
dead.
Yeah, so you probably rest for the evening without anything happens. Let me check. Yep, first roll of the night. Nothing really happens. Yeah, so you sleep till the morning. It's only been about let's see, 6 about you sleep until 10 in the morning. Nothing really happens during this time. 8 hours of sleep kind of gets you back on your feet, so you're no longer.
We would have done watches. Like I would have swapped out with her.
Yeah.
Actually, I probably would have taken the first watch because she was low on health as it is.
Okay.
That way she could use it to die, and then
Okay.
let her take over.
Okay.
For elves, they are benefits, so
I
they
only need 4 hours.
Yeah,
so
they
I'm
only
like,
need 4 hours, and while they're doing it, they can do some light activities for them. Like they are elves, so yeah. But still, like Viking volunteered to take the first watch, so yeah.
I had a snooze earlier.
Yeah.
You know, post explosion.
Yeah, just like snooze. Lavinia is also having a snooze. Like, she's so exhausted, so yeah, she just passed out. Yeah. So
That being said,
Mhm.
I have a temporary reduction of hit point maximum.
Yeah.
yeah, how does that?
That
So-
was fully recovered by the morning.
Okay.
So after a long rest, all of you who had reduction are now returned to your full maximum health. Yeah. So
Cool.
you're back on your feet.
Okay.
Yeah. Right. So in the morning, you see Maria is still like kind of like asleep, but when the moment you guys wake up and make the first noise, she just immediately snap back on and just like looking down and seeing that it's not trouble. She just you can see the obvious relief she has on her face. Like, all right.
As soon as I wake up, I check on Lavinia.
Okay. Lavinia looks.
She's still breathing.
Yeah, she's still breathing, but her
Okay.
breath became a little bit unstable. Like, she was having a hard time breathing before because of the poison and the curse, but she looks more in pain right now, like more than before. You're guessing whatever this is not good.
We're hitting end stage. We need to
Yeah.
move fast.
So now that I'm refreshed, I can use 5 points of lay on hands that might remove the poison portion of it. That should alleviate some of her
Okay.
pain or
Do you
discomfort.
know remove curse?
No,
Okay. So
I normally just kill people, and that removes the curse.
Okay.
That's how that works, right?
Okay. So, is that your Asmar ability?
What?
The
Killing people?
No, the one that removes poison.
No, that's lay on hands. You
Oh,
can
lay
use
on
5
hands.
points of lay on hands.
Okay. So you
Cure disease or poison.
yeah.
I'm pretty sure killing people isn't restricted to one race. Last time I
Yeah.
checked.
Some are better than others. Yeah.
The curse of life is lifted because of decapitating someone. All right. I'm pretty
It's
sure
easier just to res people than to cure the curse. Yeah.
All right. As you try 5 points of lay on hand, then you realize you've done this before. When she first got knocked down, lay on hand doesn't really cure the poison. It does, like, it doesn't really cure this poison. Maybe normal poisons will work, but you think this hybrid of curse slash poison kind of makes it harder to be lifted. You have to lift both at the same time in order to like remove it entirely. At least that's what you saw last time you the cardinal like kind of lifts the lover's kiss from your company that were attacked by Flash.
But does it at least alleviate some of her pain?
She kind of feels. It kind of feels like she's enthused. Yeah, she's kind. It kind of on her expression. It kind of looks like it kind of postponed the poison for a little bit. However, that's just about it. It doesn't really lift the curse entirely or the poison entirely. Yeah.
I still turn to Vicky and think that thank you.
I do what I can, but it's not much in a situation like this. It's not really my specialty.
She's
You know
she's
that.
not hurting, and I'll take what we can get.
And at this point, I'll turn to Maria and start asking like, Miss Whitehall, is there any way we could get to like Neverwinter like from here as quickly as possible?
If it were before, I would say I'd take the horses. It's about a few days, actually.
We don't have a few days.
Yeah, we don't. Judging by the look of her, we don't have a few days. The next best thing was the teleportation circle that resides in the watchtower. However, it's became unstable due to whatever the causes that might have triggered. There were a group of adventurers that was investigating this before. However, I never
I went
heard
with
of them.
9 earlier. Kaz put us onto it.
Yeah, Kaz just looks at Maria and says, Mayor Evergreen, and pardon me for the look, but and he lifts part of his scale, and you see that he retreated into a blue dragonborn other than his like golden state, and Maria definitely staggers back a little bit and puts her hand on the blade.
It's okay.
Yeah, I sort of interpose myself in front of between Kaz and Maria. It's like it's okay. He's still don't panic.
Yes. Kaz just raised his hand, just puts it on your shoulder, Lavinia, and just gently pats you on the shoulder and says, "Don't worry, I got this." And he walks towards Maria and says, "Mayor Evergreen, I'm still Kaz. I'm still the owner of the tavern, and I'm still on your side. The skin, I can't control my bloodline, my lineage, but I can control how I behave and which side I want to be on, and that would mean to support you guys." And Mayor,
Unless he doesn't like your roof, or else then he'll just burst through it, like the Kool-Aid Man. But
not helping. Kaz just looks at you and just says,
what?
Maria kind of takes a closer look at Kaz, and eventually she drops her guard and just says, "All right, you've been helping this town for quite some time. If you were a spy, you have turned last night, so I guess you're right." And
Oh, about that, I believe your spy was Vandenar.
Vandenar?
Yeah.
Who was Vandenar?
See, the wizard bloke that was with us.
How is he our spy?
He works for the Neverwinter Council.
Yeah, but I don't answer for the Neverwinter Council.
Did you liaise with him at any point? Because most of the drama that's around here has gone through him.
I did heard that there were a council inspector to oversee how the town's working, especially if we're paying tax or not. However, Lord Neverember is always a generous, like Lord.
Oh,
Generous
Lord November is
Yeah.
lovely. This man is posing as
as his
as
councilman.
Vandenar.
That is
Uh,
absolutely strange. I've heard of Lady Alexa once, and this town is a little bit too far away for Neverwinter to watch over. However, we do like dedicate our allegiance to the council, for they provide the safe travels, and all the AL leaguers are from Neverwinter, so yeah, they have outposts here, so they support us. If what you're saying is true, I believe it's gonna be a huge problem, because that means we got a mole in the council, and second, they might be the cause of all this. Which
that
means,
was my thought as well, which sucks.
yeah, which means, and her expression turned from concern to an epiphany, and then she just looks a little bit scared, and she just continues saying, that means Neverwinter is in grave danger. We need to warn them at once.
Indeed.
But I
That's
sort
kind of the reason I'd love to get back there. First and foremost, to heal Lavinia. Second, we need to warn Lord Neverember.
All right.
I sort of speak up and sort of say like, but how are we gonna get to Neverwinter in time to like do anything to help Lavinia?
That means we have to take our chances.
The teleportation
We
circle
need
at the
to
tower.
go through the teleportation circle. That's our only chance if we ever want to get your friends like back and to warn Neverwinter in time. It just seems like the only way.
Fair enough.
Alright.
She looks at you, Viking, who has been awfully quiet this whole time, and says,
I'm looking up a map of Faerun
"Okay,
out of character.
okay." So
Yeah.
so you are smoldering, basically.
How far are we away from Lux?
Lux, it's about 10 days of travels of sort, I think.
What's closer?
Let me check. Hold on. I need to check my map of the room as well. For instance, for room world maps. Yep. So, the Sword Coast is composed of a large sum of whatever creature resides in, and you guys are near. You guys are near. I believe it's Southwood. Hold on. Road map. Green East. Yep. Here it is. All right. So, Luskan. Yeah, you guys are on the Treeboard trial. It's about, for your knowledge, it's about 7. It's about 7 days traveled from Green East to Candlekeep, and then from Candlekeep to Baldur's Gate is about another 10 days of travel. If you travel faster, like what I'm saying, traveling speed here is all like just casual traveling speed. But if you travel like double time, and it will reduce it to half. So yeah, when you take the main road that was built by travelers, as well as the caravans, as well as the like the merchants that like kind of build this street, build this path that is safer for everyone to travel.
Yeah, that's not a viable option. Okay, scrap
Mhm.
that.
So, yeah.
Okay, the magic is our only option.
It would seem like it at this point.
Well, I get. Well, I guess I'm pretty much the only one here in the room right now who's any good at it. So I'll do
Mm-hmm.
I'll do whatever I can. I'll promise to do whatever I can to help
All right.
with this tower or whatever's in there.
All right. As you guys are talking, Maria looks not like she was concerned. She was concerned about how the safety of the Neverwinter, the safety of the entire land of people that would probably be sunken into fire and ashes if the dragon cult have ever risen. However, now she looks even more concerned, and she just says, "It's kind of a few hours passed, and I don't see your friends anywhere. Did he ever came back?"
Wait,
I haven't seen him since 9. He left for the tower already, so I'm hoping he cleaned as many of the guards he could before. If anything, I expect him to have gone through the portal. When we were there last, it was like he was drawn to it. I literally had to drag him away, and he almost took me through with him.
Forgot to mention this to you guys. At one point, he was saying he was gonna go home, leave us. I convinced him otherwise, but things kind of happen.
Yeah, Maria just says, if that's the case, I do wish he'd give Lexi back. But anyway,
I'm sure he wouldn't abandon us. He's a very he is a very faithful companion.
Mm-hmm.
But
he may not have had a choice.
He has mentioned that, given the opportunity, he might want to go home.
I sure hope he's doing okay wherever he is.
All right. Here's what we're gonna do. Kaz, and she looks at you. She looks at Kaz actually, and says, wait for a second." And she just ran upstairs and for about 5 minutes, and later she came downstairs with a letter in her hand, which is signed and sealed on the envelope, and she just hands it towards Kaz and says, "Give this to Lord Neverember and him only, and I hope you deliver the message for me, for I can't risk the town without its defender, and risk for the cultists to take over it once more. There are still survivors in this town, and I wish to gather them up and keep them safe, at least for the time being, before the Lord sent his army to help us. But for now, you will be the Green's ambassador, and you will be on our behalf and represent me as part of the council member."
I'm like, we should have a code word.
What code code word? She looks
I'm
a little
like-
bit confused. Like, what code?
And I
word?
look at her like she has two heads. I'm like, you've already had people impersonating the town's guard. How do you know that when he sends his men that they're not going to be more imposters?
You do have a point. Well, I did promise you guys if you ever return, I would disclose my full story about the Seekers and about everything else. So, how about this?
Is Cora still here? Because I want her to hear this.
Cora, yeah, Cora's still here. Cora's
Okay.
Cora, after she finished her food of the fish, she just lies on top of your head, just like kind of feels attached. Yeah. So, yeah, Maria just continues saying, how about Whitehall? I never really used the name ever. And it will be a great reminder of what I once was. And yeah.
No, it's too common. I don't like it.
All right. Then what do you have in mind?
How about Lady Evergreen is getting Vakeen a airship?
She just
It has a ring to it. Like,
she looks at you and there is a great confusion in her eyes. Is like,
you don't need to understand it. That's the beauty about it. It's just it's not hard to forget.
sounds way too windy for me. But anyway, if you like it,
No,
Fine by
it's
me.
okay. Like, damn it.
It was a valiant effort.
All right.
Darn.
And next time I see you, I will. I owe you the story of how I met Archon and how I knew who you were.
Fair enough.
I sort of step up to her too, and sort of just concerned and like and sort of ask, "You're sure you're gonna be okay here by yourself? With the
I
you sure you're gonna be
survived.
okay here?"
I survived, and I have always been a survivor. And with my watch, I hope Green East does as well. I hope our people survive all of this. And she's kind of like after she says this, it seems like she kind of reminded of something, and she just said to you guys, since you guys are helping us and I don't have anything else to offer, here's 500 gold pieces for your trouble, for saving the town. That's all I have got. And well, yeah. So she hands it over a purse of 500 gold pieces. She wasn't holding the purse before, so she must have gotten it when she's upstairs taking all the everything else. And she hands the bag, the pouch of gold, and just hands it over to you, Rivani. Yeah, it's just and
Oh, well, if you're sure, I sort of
consider
just
this
take it like,
as a small payment of saving the town, as a token of thank you, and especially in this time, I trust you be wise on how to utilize this money.
thank you, and
Yeah,
it was nice to meet you, if only for a little bit.
yeah. Let's hope we'll meet again. You still owe me a story, and I still owe you one. Yeah.
You stay
What
alive,
did
you
we
get it.
agree upon for the code word?
Well,
Was it Whitehall, or did we change it to the
Whitehall.
phrase?
well, it's up to you. I'll
Whitehall's
recognize
okay.
both. So yeah. Now, I trust you got places to be, and so do I. And yeah, She just walks you guys out of the mansion and just says,
Before we leave, I'm like, I hope you don't mind. Do you have any extra, like an extra blanket or like?
"Blanket? Yeah, sure.
I'll rip the curtains off the wall if I need to.
Yeah, go ahead. Just
Basically,
rip it
I'm
off.
gonna do like
Yeah.
a stretcher
Mhm.
for the
Lavinia.
poison curse.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
she just points at the curtain and says, "By all means, go ahead." Yeah.
So like 2 sticks and fasten the
Yeah.
curtain. It's something to
Something
carry
to,
her.
Yeah, carry her along the way. Yeah, nice. All right. You guys kind of part ways as Maria walks down to the house to rescue door. Like you can see her down the street. She asks like by each door, trying to make sure if anyone ever survived all this, and there are like just a very small amount of people starting to gather around. There are still survivors, but just barely. They all look scared and tired, and like quite frankly, just some of them are freaking out at this point. They're just way too scared. But Maria seems to have a way with the people. She kind of talks them, calms them down, and encourages them to join her by her side, and just like so the small group of people just starting to just at least they are having a leader trying to take them to the right direction. So
I'll turn to Cass to sort of just ask like, "How about you, big guy? How are you holding up?"
I'm kind of worried, quite frankly, not just because of the whole cultist situation, but more because Savannah and her group never really returned as well. They were inspecting the tower before as well, so I'm not
Yeah.
sure what really happened. I trust they will. They're strong enough to handle anything that's thrown at them. After all, they did manage to defeat the Vampire King once, but still, like there's just too much uncertainty lying around in this place. The world is getting weirder and weirder each day.
I sort of like caught his arm reassuringly, and I sort of give him this like little smile as I sort of say,
Mm-hmm.
the band of the scale will be avenged.
I drew the path that I wanted to take.
Yeah.
I want to pass by where the portal was just to kind of see if it was truly sealed up or if it's
All right.
which I think was there, right?
Yeah.
It was.
You
that
pass by the portal. Roll me a perception check, everyone.
20.
Yeah.
Wait.
20. No, 10. Sorry.
14.
So for Viking, for everyone else, you don't see anything. There's nothing there. The explosion must have taken all what is left. For Viking, you see through a different pair of eyes that this part of the world does seem fine, but from your perspective, from the time you were laying on the ground hearing all the conversation of the cultists, you do see on the other side the portal. It's turned black. It's turned small, like it's probably a marble size, but it is still there. The arcing of the energy still crackles, as if it's trying to reach out to reconnect to the other side. So that's what you saw for a brief moment.
I tell that to the others. I'm like, it may look like it's gone, but I get this sense that it's trying to reconnect from the other side. And if I see somebody on the way, like one of the villagers, I'm like, you need to relay this information to Whitehall.
Okay.
Just so that they can maybe prepare and fortify
all right.
this area.
When they look at him with confusion, I'll be like, Evergreen, Lady Evergreen.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. She
Evergreen.
just, like,
I have it.
yeah. She just nods and says, "I'll be sure to look into that." And for the meantime, I guess I'll lead our people outside of the town for a hideout that was established a while ago for the first invasion of the, well, Merkel's order. She looks at you and just kind of gives you just kind of a wink. It's more like,
What? Who?
Yeah.
What? Ixnay Urkle.
yeah. And she just like, I trust we'll be fine. And she just keeps on leading the people. Right? So you guys pass through the way of the portal once was, receiving the news, and you continues going on. You pass through the magic circle shop, however. You do see it was the roof and the like a third of the house is entirely blown apart. You see there are some dwarf corpses lying on the ground. Most of them are half crumbled into dust, but the structure of the body still, you can still see by the looks of it, it must be a dwarf when it was still alive. Yeah.
I would have recognized him because he was the asshole that
Yeah.
set the guards on me in the first place.
No, not the dwarf. You were talking about the fisherman who was.
I thought that was the magic circle.
No.
That
It was
where I was getting fish.
No. It was in front of the shop. There was a small marketplace where the fishmonger was there, and yeah. Well, at this moment, you don't see any marketplace. The entire like stand is destroyed. The entire street is like ripped apart. So, yeah. Yeah. So you guys walk towards the watchtower, and for now,
When I see half the building destroyed, I lean over to Lavinia. I'm like, "Can you fix that?" Now that I've seen that you can fix things, I'm like, "Can you fix that?"
A door or a wheel I could fix. That would need a lot. That would need a lot stronger magic, I think.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. All right. Rainy, actually, roll me an intel. No, Arcana check actually. When you mentioned it. Yeah, with your background knowledge of all the stuff related to magic, and with what your master once taught you, yeah, those are a spell. There are a spell called Make Whole that would be a third level spell that would repair something entirely. However, with the structure of a building, that will require consistent casting. So, yeah.
I just imagine it's
So-
one solid brick of wood. Like it made it whole. It's just a solid chunk of wood. The entire building.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, basically that would take something a lot. Half the house would take something a lot stronger
Oh.
than what I've got right now.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. It dawned on me. I sent the skeleton posse off to the mansion.
Mm-hmm.
What happened?
They were not there. You don't see them anywhere, and you don't see Maria talks about them. So,
And I didn't see the suit of clothes anywhere, right?
no.
When we were walking back. So they're probably still alive.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So just out there somewhere. You're not entirely sure.
Well, they're
As you-
stuck here somewhere in the city, so
Yeah, as you walk near the watchtower, you see the front gate is totally blown away, like blown open. So the front gate is entirely destroyed. Uh, you can see inside. It's still taller. It's still like when you were here last time. The interior, from what you can tell, you were staring down at the front gate. So yeah, uh, some of that still looks intact, but the front gate is entirely broken. Yeah. What would you like to do?
I'd like to very carefully check if we're gonna get dead in a couple of seconds. Just any enemies.
Yeah.
Like,
Ooh,
especially
nice.
through the gate. Like, if there's anyone waiting in the wings to jump on us.
Okay.
Okay.
You look around. You don't see anyone lurking in the shadows. Wait, hold on. Perception check first. Perception check first.
Ooh, what am I doing?
Yeah, you don't see anyone lurking in the shadows. Everything's fine. You think everything's fine.
Awesome.
Yeah, so you look
Cool.
inside. The staircase
Where
is
are the
still leading downwards. The one thing you saw last time, the purplish like tentacles were no longer there. Thank goodness. However, the ruins are still attached down the staircase in the bottom floor of the watchtower.
boy.
What would you like to do? All right.
I want to use divine sense.
You
and-
still sense a gigantic horde, which is lessened. The numbers are lessened, but you still sense a gigantic horde of undead somewhere.
But do I sense anything from the tower?
No, nothing.
I'm like, I don't sense any undead from this tower.
No, not at all.
Everywhere else, yes, but not this tower. So
Whew.
No.
I don't want to, let your guard down or anything. But
Mm-hmm.
Somehow, yeah, because I feel like somehow them not being here is worse. If they're staying away, what the hell? And I'm like narrating our way through the tower.
Right. So you walk inside. When you walk inside the watchtower, you don't see anyone. You're starting to. Do you start to walk down the stairs to the circle that you once saw before?
Yep. Very carefully. Very, very carefully.
Right. So on the third step of the stairs, you do see a small figure that was, well, not small, actually a big figure that was like sitting in the middle of the staircase, just sitting right there. It's a partially dark figure. You were in transition of the brightness upstairs and the darkness downstairs, so you're not fully you can't fully tell what it is.
I would cast light because I know Lavinia can't see in the darkness.
Right. I thought you were being stealthy, so okay. So you
No,
cast.
I'm literally carrying a corpse.
No, I'm.
And-
or a
Let's be
injured
careful,
person.
but I'm not gonna be stealth. I'm gonna cast light and walk forward.
Because like I'm
Yeah.
being careful, but I'm also like talking. So if anyone's
Yeah.
listening, they'll hear me going, "Okay, well, this is where this was, and this is what happened down here." And
Okay.
Yeah.
So
it's-
you look downwards. You see a dog. Actually, the
buddy.
the entire body is made out of some metallic stuff because it's like reflecting lights that were cast by Viking. It just sits there without anything, like not even a bark, not even movement. It just sits perfectly still as if it's a statue.
When I see this, I'm like, oh fuck, core's on my head.
Cora's like,
Okay.
Cora's not looking. Actually, she is looking. She's looking at the dog, kind of curiously. And she just says, "Is that Ruby? Huh. Dog's eyes made out of rubies. Fancy."
Did you say rubies?
Yeah.
Can I touch it?
I don't know. It's up to you. I mean,
It's on the stairs.
you're my favorite elf, but I don't know what will happen if you touch it by the eyes. I'm just saying, they do look like rubies to me.
Well, it's in our way on the stairs. I want to move it gently either way.
Suit yourself. Don't say I didn't warn you. Yeah. So, what would you like to do?
I turned the course like, what do you mean by that? Like, sort of giving,
Oh,
giving Cora like a
I'm sure everything's fine. I mean,
I'm getting.
it's
I
just a
guess,
dog with a ruby in its eyes sitting in a staircase. What else can be wrong?
I'm gonna go try and pick the dog up.
All right. Yeah, with that insight check, she's. What would you like to insight check her about? I'm just wondering.
If she knows more about this dog and about this dog thing than what she's he or is it he or she?
Cora? Cora's a she.
Right,
Cora's a
what she's
god.
Yeah.
yeah.
Has no gender.
If she knows more about the dog than she's letting on. Basically.
All right. With that, you do feel like she probably, if she didn't know before, when she said, don't say I didn't warn you, she probably figured it out now. But she's probably just sitting around trying to see what will happen. Yeah. Just like.
So, as someone who has talked to Cora quite a bit, my assumption is she is the smartest person in the room and always knows more than what she lets on because she's more curious about what the fuck we're gonna do than anything else.
Yeah.
So, just FYI, that's Vakeen's insight on it.
All right.
It's probably going to explode.
Oh yeah.
So when Tully reaches out her hands towards the rubies,
I don't want to pick up the rubies. I want to pick up the actual dog itself and like move
you
it.
reach
Yeah.
out your palms towards the dog. The dog tries to bite you immediately, like just like.
Oh hell no!
It was like a statue before, and right now it just tries to bite your hands off. What's your AC?
It's low. 15.
50? Okay, let's see.
How does command not work for animals? Like, come on.
Oh no.
No.
Yeah.
Just like.
Let's see. 15.
That seems like it should be an animal thing.
Yeah, it misses you entirely. However, once your hands are you retrieve your hands fast enough. However, once you retrieve your hand, it just goes back in place. Just sits there doing nothing.
I just turned to Cora again and give her the disappointed mother look. It's just Cora.
Cora just like yawns and completely ignores you. Just grabbed her hair, just like, see, told ya.
I mean, I'm fine. I'm gonna raise my hand out again.
Don't be a baby about it. It didn't bite you on the hands. It's fine.
I have something for this. And I'm like, I root through the bag of holding. I was looking, there was a note in there from someone else we stole from, but the only thing I have in here that's paper is a scroll of charm person. So I like take it out, it's all rolled up, and I smack it on the nose, and I'm like, no. And then I like
you smack the dog on the nose
with a scroll.
Okay.
With a scroll of charm person.
Yeah. So as you're gonna smack it, I will roll that.
Bad dog.
Yeah, I'll roll a d20. Just a plain d20 with no.
I kind of figure it's probably gonna ruin the scroll, but
yeah,
it's one of those.
Let's see.
It's worth it. A 1.
Yeah, it's definitely gonna roll the scroll now if it weren't before. So as you smack the scroll on, towards the dog's nose, The dog immediately bites not only your hand but also the scroll and just and you take. Hold on, let me see. All right.
You gotta remember how high my AC is, so
Yeah. However, you didn't expect this to come, so. Oh wait. Yeah. Let me roll first to see if he hits. No, he definitely not
I have
hits.
20
So
AC,
yeah.
so
With that, you think it's gonna bite on your arm, but instead it just bites off the half of the scroll, and half of the scroll kind of, the seal kind of breaks, and emitting like a large sum of light, like just kind of burst out from the middle of the scroll. What's the whole person? Hold on, let me check something.
charm person. Charm person.
Charm person, right? That will
Yeah.
be a charisma save, right?
I'm like, shit, was that important?
It is charm person. All right. What's your own spell save DC?
14.
All right. Roll me a charisma save. Yeah.
That is 15.
So, oh, sorry, wisdom save actually. I must make a
Oh.
wisdom saving throw. Yeah. Roll me a wisdom save. All right. So
21.
for a second, you feel like you're the prettiest, like the best looking person alive in this planet, and you wouldn't
normal,
want
though.
to marry anyone but yourself. And in fact, you would have kissed yourself so many times. Yeah, you're like Gaston. You're
That's
like,
normal.
Yeah, the finest specimen in the
Anything wrong with
planet.
this?
Yeah, and for a
So
second,
nothing happened.
you almost made love with yourself, but you managed to shrug off the effect and then realize, oh wait, yeah, I'm fine. I'm good looking, but I'm not that good looking. Well, in a way, you want to make love with yourself. But
I'm like,
anyway, you managed to.
Ravani, you want in on this? Like,
you managed to shrug off the effect.
Wait,
Alright.
what were you saying, Viking?
yeah, your turn. Just like, I like tag you in.
Cora just like laugh on your head, just like non-stop, like I wouldn't believe. Nice show. I want more. Come on, guys. Cora just pat Viking on the head, just like, yeah, Rainy, just go do it.
Appease the cat.
Rainy just grunts.
I'm like, what could go wrong? Just like, just had a scroll blow up. It's like,
Yeah.
So this dog thing is like guarding the stairs, like downstairs, right?
he's friendly.
Okay, yeah. So I want to sort of start trying to figure out a way to like
Get around it.
if there's like a check I can do to like figure out how to like either get around this or like
All right.
disable the dog.
Roll me an intelligence check. Oh, hold on. You want to get around it to find a way that's maneuver over it, or do you want to know how this thing could be disabled? It's two
Disabled,
different
yeah.
things.
Disabled, yeah.
Okay, then roll me an Arcana check. All right. You think this is something similar to what Tolly had and what you had. It's one of the figurine that allows something to, well, either a dog, either an animal, either a familiar, to manifest and to like take form in reality and try to do their master's bidding. Yeah. So
Yeah,
the way
saw
to
that.
disable it, first, wait until it's hours past. Like usually these kind of figurines can only last for about 8 hours tops. And yeah, if you just wait until the time passes, it might be gone. But first, you don't have that many time to waste. And second, this is probably with your educated guess. This is probably what Mayor Evergreen mentioned about the help she gave towards Nine, because apparently Nine is probably the only person that passed through this place during this time. So
Yeah, I definitely start relaying all of that to the other guys, and
okay.
I sort of mentioned that.
So when you said it's a familiar, will it act like a dog?
I guess, but uh, all I know for sure is that if we wait enough hours, it will uh, sort of sort of go away on its own.
Back
But
to
we
figuring.
don't have that. But we really don't have that much time.
I start rooting through the bag of holding again, just
Okay.
like you know me. My bag of mysteries, and I pull out a day's worth of rations,
Okay.
and I'm like, "Here you go, dog." And I like I'm trying to get it enticed on the food, and like, will it
You notice
animal
that,
handling?
You notice that first, the dog is made out of metallic.
I know that, but I'm
structure.
thinking the familiar might still want food. Like Cora likes food, even though she doesn't need to eat.
All right. Roll me an intelligence check.
Just straight up intent.
Yeah, just
Intelligence.
straight up intelligence. All right. With that, you think that, you know that Cora is eating. It's probably because she likes the taste of it. Not meat. That doesn't mean she really needs it. And second, this kind of figurine, they don't tend to eat. They're more like a magical projection.
I've had enough of this bullshit.
Yep.
I'm gonna put down your sister, mind you. Just make sure we don't drop her. And then I take my shield and I just fucking bash the thing.
All right.
For an 8. I'm just pinning it to the ground. Just fuck it.
It dodges out of the way and just remains seated.
I'm gonna continue
stair.
bashing this fucking thing.
All right. Roll initiative at this point. Everyone, roll initiative. Initiative.
On a staircase.
On a staircase, facing a dog.
How big is this figurine, by the way?
This is about, like, normal size figurine is about tiny. But this one looks big.
I'm literally
Okay.
picturing my dog.
Yeah.
It's up to like my knees. Just
Yeah. this
Chihuahua.
one is
Like-
about half of a human size, so it's big.
Okay.
yikes.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
That's a great
I have
way.
plans already.
Yeah.
Long-term plans.
So, with that, initiative time. All right. Viking, I don't think you.
I did roll it. Here.
Okay,
It's not putting me on.
that's weird. Oh, you didn't click. I think it's because you didn't click your token. Okay, I'm gonna switch that to 17. Don't worry about it.
I got it.
17. Whoa, what has
I
happened?
did it.
Okay.
I did it.
All right, nice. Okay, so the metallic dog that he rolled an 18.
Bullshit.
Yep.
Freaking thing is nimble. We have somebody that like rolls a million on initiative like every other turn.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just having a low roll day. I don't know what's happened. I can't roll above like a 2. It's just.
Yeah.
Uh,
Low rolls of the day, but anyway,
Oh.
you guys are gonna be fine, and in fact, yeah. All right. Let's see what's gonna happen. All right. So the dog, looking at all of you, just the first time it kind of moved its gaze left and right, and it just spots on to Viking, and like a gaze shoots out from the ruby eyes towards you, Viking. Roll me a Constitution save.
11.
Okay. All right. Hold on. Let me check for condition because this is gonna be interesting. Never thought you were gonna fail this one, but all right. You felt a stiffness inside your bones, and just by the pure gaze of that thing, makes you unable to move, and you feel like your entire structure is gonna tense up. And from the for Tolly and Ravani, you guys see that Viking, with his whole body turned, skins turn pale and then turn into stone-like structure.
Paler.
Yeah,
paler. I'm pretty white as it is.
Than before. So the stones, it's as if he's been cast with stone skin, and all of his structures just tense up, and eventually he just stiffens in place. He is now petrified, and I think I'm gonna just post the petrified condition. Yeah, this does not look good. Alright, too many words to change, so things, petrified. Alright, you know what? I'm just gonna post it. It's a really windy, whatever condition that is. So, yeah. To a solid, inanimate substance. Yeah. Yeah, and that will be the end of the dog's turn. Now it'll be... Roll me a Constitution save again, Viking. Alright.
25.
Yeah, you managed to, like, for a second you guys think you lost Viking. And then he just, like, kind of tense up, the muscle just kind of tense and breaks all the bonds and just, and yeah, he's back into, non-petrified state, but that will be the end of your turn as well.
I'm like, by pure will of my ego, you shall not stop me.
The dog just, woof! The first bark you heard the dog bark.
Oh, good boy.
Yeah. Alright. That will be the end of its turn. Alright, Tala, you're up.
I'm just gonna just sidle between Viking and the dog and just be like, "Where's 9?" Like I'm just literally asking the dog where his master is.
The dog looks left and right and left again. And just woof! That's it.
Can anyone speak with animals?
Alright.
That's
what would you like to do? Just ask the question. That's it?
Yep.
Alright. The dog just woofs. And that's it. Alright. Ravani, what would you like to do?
I'm actually going to get the artist to stand back a little bit while I try something. I'm actually going to try casting suggestion on the dog.
All right. Go ahead. Cast. Before you cast suggestions.
Oh wait.
Roll me an intelligence check to see if you remember something.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, with a metallic structure like this, it's probably inanimate, and it's probably a construct-like creature. So suggestion wouldn't really work.
Right. That kind of just dawned on me now.
What would you like to do?
Oh, for Christ's sake. Uh,
It's okay.
It's okay. All right, 6 seconds.
You know
okay,
me and my plans. I have contingency plans.
Okay. Yeah. I'm just gonna try and like go up to it like with my hands up like non-threateningly, and I'm gonna try and like persuade it to like to like to like please let us pass, and I'm gonna like say like we're friends of night. You can trust us.
First of all, you're not sure if that will work, but you said you want to persuade it. Anyway, roll for persuasion.
Oh, God.
All right. Okay. Okay. It won't budge. The dog just sits there in place. That'll be the end of your turn, right?
Yeah, I don't really have any like.
All right.
I'm just not sure if I have any like actual spells that would quickly resolve this roadblock. So I don't know. Sorry.
Now will be the dog's turn. The dog looks at you at this turn. Gonna give you a gaze. Roll me a Constitution save.
Shit. Oh, this is not. Oh, I do have proficiency in that, so.
All right.
20. Oh.
Yeah, you don't feel anything like. Wait, +4? Holy shit, that's really nice. Yeah. So yeah, you manage to shrug off the effect as the gaze like looks upon you, and the dog just still sits there in place. It doesn't look frustrated or express any emotion that you are not petrified. Yeah, and that will be the end of the dog's turn. All right, Viking, you're up.
As bonus action, I'm gonna grapple it. It's 14.
You managed to grapple it at this point. How would you like to grapple it? By chance?
I mean, like, I'm getting on top of this thing and fucking riding it, like, to try and control it with my feet.
All right, so you leap in midair. To everyone's surprise, Viking was never the kind of the guy who would do this leaping and jumping, but for the first time, he is, and he's managed to sit on the gigantic dog and just rides it. Yeah.
Now, as my action, I want to do something oddball, which, you know me. I want to use an athletics check to try and wrangle this fucking thing into the bag of holding.
Oh, okay.
I put dead bodies into the bag of holding, so it should fit.
Okay, so
that it's half the size of a human.
It's half the size, but when you stuff the dead bodies inside, they are like partially cremated. But I will say you can try. I'll definitely say you can try.
19.
All right. You managed to stuff the dog's head like partially inside the bag of holding. Coral was like, "Yes, that's it! Wrestle the dog! That's my favorite show."
Ah!
Yeah, so you managed to stuff half the body inside the bag of holding. It's still struggling.
It's still grappled as well.
Yeah.
Because I'm on top of it.
Yeah. In fact, yeah, it's struggling. It just keeps on struggling.
Help me push it in the bag!
Alright. That will be the end of your turn.
That's the end of my turn.
Ollie, what would you like to do, seeing that the dog is halfway in the bag?
Just sigh, like really. I was going to try and convince the dog we are friendly, but alas, I do not think that will function anymore.
Yeah.
I'm going to hold my action in case it attacks Vakeen. Right now, I'm just gonna let it roll.
All right. That will be the end of.
Push on the fucking bag! I need more leverage! Jesus!
What would you like to do?
Well, I kind of just shrugged to Tally, not really seeing any other options, and I'm gonna try and like
Shove it.
try like yeah, and
All right.
I
Roll
actually
me
got
a strength check.
can I actually like can I get the Bryce to help me shove it as well?
Oh, okay. Yeah, definitely. But you'll
Yeah.
take an action to summon it. Usually you
Oh,
summon it
okay.
before combat.
Ah, damn it.
Yeah.
Never mind. I'll
You have it-
I'll do it. I'll do the
You should
shoving.
have advantage because it is grappled. So that's advantage on on attacks
Roll
and stuff
for
like
a
that.
strength check. Just pure strength
Yeah.
check with advantage.
Maybe one.
Yuck.
8.
Yeah. Even with the advantage, Rainy, you feel like your tiny hands and delicate like palms are not made for shoving and pushing. Those are for the brutes. You are not the brute. Yeah. So you try your best. You only get like just tiny proportion of it inside the bag. That will be the end of your turn. Yeah. So right now, the dog suddenly stops struggling, and you feel this light of touch as you see him, like miraculously, the dog just kind of vanish in a puff of smoke.
I fall flat on my ass because I was on top of the dog.
Yeah, you are like,
Ow!
oh, oops. Yeah.
And I was like trying to push it, so like I ended up like falling flat on my face as well on the
Yeah.
stairs.
Yeah, like you just face planted onto the stairs. Yeah. Yeah, you guys all managed to get up, and you see the dog is like kind of partially like about 10 stairs down deeper. You see the dog just sits there. It's a little bit away from you guys, but
Excellent.
it's still there. That'll be the end of its turn. What would you like to do, Viking? The dog is still there. It's just out of your reach.
It's still in our way though.
Yeah, it
So,
still sits in the middle of the stairs.
I'm like, Cora, a little help. Like,
So what are we talking? If I help you deal with this annoying dog, what do I get?
I have 5 pounds of lovely fish.
I don't want
more
fish right now. I don't want fish.
No.
Maybe later.
But when yeah, that's not a problem. And I also have, I have several very fantastic rations that I've been told are
no,
absolutely
I don't want
superb.
food at this point. And I'll tell you what I want. If you can find me a fine pearl that I can play with, like it has to be the size of my head. So you see the Cora's head is like pretty huge. Like for a cat, like it's like this size. So probably a ball size, like a small ball. And she just talks as, if you find me a nice looking black pearl, and I want it black, I want to be precise, then I'll help you deal with the dog. Deal?
I assure you, if we find a black pearl, it is yours to play with for the rest of eternity.
Deal. And she like her like tails just kind of like gently whips on your palm. Yeah.
Can the other two do an insight check on that?
Go ahead. Do the insight check. All right.
I didn't actually say that we'd get it for her. If I find it, she can play with it. So just remember that. She can go and steal it if she can steal it if she wants. Like that's how that works. Just saying. You two caught on to that.
For Rivani, Tolly, you think Cora knows Viking is playing word game, but she doesn't seem to care at this point.
And I'm trying to think of like where I've seen one, if I've seen one.
Yeah, and then Rivani, roll me an Arcana check.
Uh-oh.
Oh shit! The thing you have isn't a pearl. I hope.
Rivani, you think Cora not only knows Viking is playing the war game, but also she kind of played it back. The whip on the tail on Viking's palm is not just any kind of random action. You think Viking probably signed something without his own awareness. Yeah.
I keep getting branded.
Congratulations,
Like,
you just made a deal
all
with
the
another
time.
demon.
I'm going to hold on to this for now until Cora is not present.
Okay. Cora just leaps in the middle of the stairs and says, "All right, let's see what you
I'm like,
got."
I always treat you with utmost respect and appreciation, Cora.
Yeah. She just looks around and
Just like trying to hold back a laugh.
just turn her back. All right. Now that will be Cora. That means Cora got a turn, and she's got a 16. Nice. 16. No, actually 16 plus. Okay, that's a 20. Let's see.
She's
Cora.
psychotic. Don't mess with cats.
Yeah, cats. Cora, 20. All right, so she's now joining the battle, and that means she will be one step ahead of Viking. That will be all your action and everything. Polly, what would you like to do at this point?
Gonna head down the stairs towards the dog.
All right. What would you like to do?
Is it still animate or is it back to inanimate?
It's still there. It just still sits there. It doesn't attack you. Well, for now. How far do you get within range of the dog?
Probably 10 feet. Enough to talk to it, but not enough in melee.
Okay. It just sits there. What would you like to do?
I'm just basically gonna approach hands up like easy. We are a pack of Maria and 9. I'm gonna try like heal.
You see the flashes in the rubies as you mentioned Maria, but still no sound, not a word.
Okay.
Yeah, is that all?
Yeah, I'm just gonna hang out and just be like, well, I got no other ideas.
All right. Rivani, with the knowledge you had before, hold on, Arcana check. How much did you make? Arcana check. Yeah, with the knowledge you had before, you think there, it just dawned you think there is a kind of like a key word, sort of like a command word that would revert it back to its state. What would you like to do?
I'll sort of like quietly, sort of, I'll like quietly like speak aside to Viking to say like, don't be alarmed, but I think Coral just signed you for something without your consent. Just
A heads up.
watch your heads up.
I expect nothing less from her. Just at this point, like I've been feeding her, thinking that she could be helpful, but in all actuality, I know I'm a fucking meat puppet for her at this point. She's twisting everything we do.
Right. So I guess I'm gonna go down with Tally, and I want to try and guess what the right command word is at this point.
Okay. So, if you're thinking, then that means that'll be the end of your turn.
Sure, I guess.
All right. Cora, at this point, just walks towards the metallic dog, and you heard her say in a voice that sounds really like Maria. The word is Lexi. And all of a sudden, the dog just reverted back to a small statue and just pummels into the ground. You're now out of combat. And yeah, out of the initiative order. And yeah. See? Nice and easy. Cora just,
Thanks, Cora.
Cora just like gently just push the figurine aside and just walks downstairs.
I'm gonna pick it up. It's
So
mine now.
yeah, you pick up the figurine. It looks exactly like the small figurine version of the dog you once saw. And its eye is still glowing in like red sparkles, but just by the feels of it, because you have the similar figurine of a silver raven, so all these figurines once they revert back, it won't be able to reactivate until like a few days later. So yeah.
It's okay. I'm very pleased because I've been like non-klepto for so long. It's just like,
Yes,
good.
finally something to keep. Yeah.
And I'm like, I'll give you back to Maria when I see her next, but until then.
Until I see her, yeah, that means never. Yeah. But
I
anyway.
still owe her a story.
Who would abandon such a key puppy?
Yeah, I don't know.
All right.
Yeah, I'm just gonna start like heading down the stairs at this point.
Yeah. So all of you head downstairs. Tolly, you notice that the ruins are not glowing at all, like you once saw them before. But you do remember there was a sequence to how to sort of activate this thing, because last time it was purely by accident, and by a little help of 9, the sequence was initiated. But right now it just went completely down. So yeah, maybe you can turn it back on with what you can remember.
Yeah, I'm gonna do my best to repeat.
All right. So for those of you who are first time here, the bottom of the watchtower is bigger than you expected. There are ruins carved on the side of the wall as well as the bottom of the ground, and all of them like seem to form a gigantic circle that would match the looks of the watchtower from the outside. And there are bookshelves and stuff like that that were on the side of the walls. That seems to be seems like the stone walls were carved in to make raw bookshelves and like inventory stuff. You will even see alchemy supplies on the side of the bench, and also you do see something that was in the shadow, that were a few small rocks. You're not entirely sure what they do, but they're just placed there as kind of like maybe something, chess maybe to be put on the side of the wall, like chess pieces. And yeah, for all what you saw, you don't see one thing: your friend. 9 is nowhere to be seen. So Tolly manage to
I'm gonna start and be like, I
Yeah.
think I know where he went.
managed to replicate the process. It wasn't hard, because there was only a few stones to be placed, to be put it in place. So you
And
move the
Remembering
rocks.
combinations is my
Yeah,
specialty.
yeah. Remembering all that stuff is what you do. So you manage to move a few rocks to the right place where you think it was, and manage to finally press the one button that you think that would activate this whole thing. And the ruins that you pressed starting to light up, and in due process the whole thing kind of intertwine with each other as the energy just kind of flows from one ruin, leaping from one to another, and kind of links everything together. Before you realize that the whole energy kind of sparks from the ground, forming a kind of like a two person. No, sorry, size of two people to fit a small portal, and in the sparkling and glowing of the portal, you do see on the other side 9. Seems to be This seems like a marketplace, in fact. It doesn't look like Neverwinter, though. You do see 9 seems to be fighting against someone else. Yeah, he's like kind of standing guard on the portal right now, in front of the portal right now, just trying to fend off all those who are trying to.
As soon as
get a
I see
piece
an
of him.
opening.
Yeah. Yeah, so you throw in all of the emergency and like just trying to help your friend. You throw the throwing glaive across the portal. It seems to be flying indefinitely as the glaive just kind of stuck in place. It kind of swirls. However, it doesn't seem to went through.
I'll reach in and pick it up.
Alright, so as you reach out for it, you think you grab nothing back. The throwing glaive is still in midair. It looks like a weird image that the glaive, when you're touching the whole portal, looks like a painting. As you try to reach for the glaive, it looks like you're reaching inside of water. And the glaive is still flying. You can even see the slow motion swirling as if it's flying towards its destination, or at least trying. But it just kind of got stuck in place. 9, however, seems to be on the other side already, as his motion of fighting and everything went down looks like normal pacing. So,
Cora, Ravani, is this bad news? Is this dangerous for us? Or can we go through it?
I don't know.
Roll for Arcana check to see if you know. Alright, with a natural 20, Kadan used to taught lessons about this, about how dangerous it is to went through portals, especially if you don't know what they do. So this might be the temporal disturbance you guys once heard that would cause a portal to shift place. First, you don't recognize this as Neverwinter, so this must have been a different location. And second, the time seems to be passing differently inside the portal. Inanimate objects, stuff like weapons or like stones or like just anything other than living creatures would have a different time span other than normal living creatures. So, in other words, weapons and stuff inside the portal, inside this kind of portal, just kind of slows down in an infinite speed, like just kind of stuck in place.
I mentioned all of that, sort of say like, yeah, I'm not sure if you're getting that glaive back anytime soon.
Well, dang, I really liked that. Oh, well, let's see if I can catch it all the way through.
Alright. What's the inside for?
That's my character. I'm like, weapons and armor and stuff is not really gonna go through it. I start stripping. I'm like, you see me like taking my armor off, just like, fuck.
Yeah.
You say so.
For Ravani, you do realize one thing. As Viking is stripping down, that is, if you carry it with yourself, it should be fine. If you carry the stuff on yourself instead of like tossing it around, it should be fine. But whether or not you disclose that to Viking is totally up to you. So
I tell him. Wait. You know, it's only like that because Tally tried to throw that. If you're just carrying it in your like possession or like in your hands, it should be fine. If it's it, but even so, this doesn't look like Neverwinter, and that's kind of where we need to go, isn't it?
Well, yeah, but it's civilization and it's 9, and frankly, we're kind of out of options. Worst case, we come back and we try again. But right now, I'd like to fetch my friend, and I'm just gonna step through and try and grab my glaive on the way through.
Okay, so you leap through the portal. Yeah, the glaive rolling so long, you would feel that, oh, this must be a slow motion sense of like traveling through space and time. However, you just walk through it, and you almost like trip yourself over the way through it because you were thinking that, yeah, I need the speed and momentum to jump through. However, it's just like walking in a park, just like leap through it directly. And you manage to catch the glaive. However, the glaive kind of crumbles in your touch as if it's been through generations and centuries. Yeah, it's just a pile of silver dust that's like rust away. Yeah.
I liked that glaive. Oh.
Yeah. So you're right now on the other side, facing, looking at 9, and there are a bunch of thugs that were surrounding him. Well, you say thugs because yeah, first A, they match all the criminal contents that, like, the criminal elements you would see in the normal street thugs, and B, they all wear eye patches as if they were pirates or whatever, and like different different kinds of street level weapons. You see crowbars, you see like hatchet, you see small like hooks, like chains and hooks and everything. Yeah. And to one of your surprise, all of them are dwarves. It's not every day you will see dwarf thugs running across the streets. Yeah,
Yeah, kind of makes me miss Hamura.
yeah.
I just look at 9 like
Kind of.
9 having a party without me. Truly, I am offended.
9 just looks really intense and says, I didn't know we would end up in this area.
Where are we exactly?
We're at my home, but not as the place I wanted to be.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's nice so far. The people welcoming.
The dwarves, who looks like a leader, who's got a gigantic, like green fist. You can't really tell what it's made of, but this guy, it's definitely looking like a bad news. And he looks at you and looks at 9 again and then looks at you again and says, so, you got another elf in our territory. How nice. I would expect you to pay up, as your friend is reluctant to. There'll be 1,000 gold pieces for each head in my territory.
Oh, so sorry. I'm only stopping by. 9, time to go. I'm gonna try and drag
9 is
9
like-
back through the portal. I'm just like,
Yeah,
nah.
as you like turn around to try to grab 9 and through the portal, 9's like, "Well, no, wait!" And you felt like you bump yourself in a like wavy stone kind of wall, like as you try to run through the portal, it just kind of blocks you. And your face hurts immensely.
I laugh because on the other side of the portal, I just seen her
Yeah,
hit like
just
a
like
glass
A
wall.
fly on the windshield will be the correct description.
I guess this is a one-way trip.
Yeah.
Yeah. 9's like, yeah, that's what I was trying to say. The Iron Forge, they got control of this area. And that means there's no turning back.
Well, frankly, that's kind of rude.
I'm like, Ravenna, you need to get through there. I'm not gonna be I'll be the last one through.
Oh, yes, yes. The more the
I'm carrying
merrier.
them.
The more I got paid more. Boss will be quite happy about this.
Now, say I don't have the
Okay,
money
well-
or I don't feel like paying. Are there
If you don't feel like paying, there's
Payment options?
only 2 ways. First, we strip you.
I mean, alright. I wasn't
fine.
here for that, but alright.
No, we strip
Start
you.
like
That would be the
aluminum.
first step of our first option. Second, we beat you into a pulp. The second option, you work for us until your debt is cleaned.
At this point, I'm going to. Do I see like the? I see like the stuff that's going on the
Yeah,
other side of the portal. Right?
for Viking and Ravenna, you don't hear anything. You only see Tully and 9 surrounded by thugs.
I'm signing behind my back how many and basically fuck them up.
Yeah. So,
Right.
there are about 10 dwarves surrounding you guys. There are 2 others, you think it's halfling, stationed on top of the roof on the other side of the wall, just holding crossbows, aiming down towards you guys. For Tully.
When I see
Yeah, sorry. Go
Tully,
ahead. Viking. Go ahead.
go ahead,
No,
Ravenna.
no, no.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Right. I sort of just sort of like mumble to myself. So if we can't find help for the field on the other side of this portal, I'm gonna be very upset. And I'm just gonna sort of go through the portal.
All right.
And is there like any of these thugs nearby?
All
Like-
right. You leap through
Like the one
portal.
that Tally's speaking with?
Okay. You leap through the portal and you see like what I described. Like a bunch of dwarves that are like standing, like each of them holding weapons in their hands and looking like quite maliciously and looking at you like what they're about to do to you. So, yeah, Tully quickly catch you up to speed. Like, yeah, so.
Is there one that looks like he's in charge?
Yeah, the one that's speaking to Tully. He's missing a tooth.
Oh, right.
And he's got a green-looking fist. Tully, by a closer look, it is actually made out of stone-like structure because it's no way it's a living creature's hand.
I'm gonna like just non-threatening as possible. Just walk up like, that's a neat hand. Tell me more. I like the look of it.
Oh yeah. This is the family tradition. We are the proud Jasper clan. We Jasper Fist we've done lots of things with these fists.
Must be worth a
And
lot
one
of money, and you
thing
must have done many good
is-
things.
If you take another step closer, elf, it will meet your face with close range contact.
So
I'm going
I'm
to.
on, I'm on the other side of the portal at this point,
Mm-hmm.
and Kaz is there with me, and I'll give the Tully's sister to Kaz,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm like, Kaz, they're in trouble. Hold on to my cape and act submissive, but follow me through. And like, as soon as I
Kaz actually looks at you and says,
just play along.
"But we need to go to Neverwinter."
It doesn't matter. They can't get back. You just seen her hit the portal. Just follow along. Just
No,
play.
that means
Shut your fucking hole,
I'm
Kaz,
sorry.
and follow along. God damn it!
I'm sorry, Viking.
And I'm just like,
I don't want to abandon you, but we got larger things at stake. I will
Yes,
need to
and-
inform Maria that we can no longer use the portal, and I need to alert Lord Neverember for the incoming attack.
how do you know this is not Neverwinter? This is
I know,
Neverwinter.
I've been to Neverwinter.
This is some guy's house in Neverwinter. You know that, and I'm totally fucking bluffing my way through this now. I'm 18. I'm like, this is fucking Neverwinter. You know that. It just shifted slightly into someone's house, and this is how portals work when two collide. They kind of throw each other off. Just fucking come on, Kaz.
Kaz looks at you and says, "I'm really sorry, my friend." By the way, he rolled a natural 20, so first natural 20 of the night. Yeah. So he kind of looks at you and says, "I'm afraid I got duties elsewhere."
You're dead to me. I saved your ass on multiple occasions. You were going to go psycho, and I'm not going to be there to help you this time. You are dead. You may as well kiss your ass goodbye and become a slave to the dragon cult.
That's what
We
I'm
saved your ass. You
trying-
deserve
That's
it.
what I'm trying to prevent. If I went
Yeah.
through this portal, I wouldn't be able to come back. That means I have no ways to prevent what is about to happen. To here, to my people.
Following us is your best option. Without us, you'd be dead by now. And I'm like,
He kind of looks at you and says, "Don't mistaken my kindness as foolishness, boy. I've survived longer before I even met you. And now I need to save my home just as well as you need to save your friends. So go. Take her with you. Deal with the problems you're facing right now. I need to deal with my problems, which is not what I'm dragging you into. I don't wish to drag you into my problems the same way I don't wish you to drag me into your problems. Now, save your friend. Go." And he just turns
I'm like-
towards upstairs. Yep.
fucking dick. Just like under my breath, I'm like, fucking dick. Is Tully's companion or sister there?
Yeah, he
I have the one that's poisoned
yeah,
in my
he
hand.
hand Lavinia towards your palm, like just hand it over, and he just left.
So, is she still poisoned? Like, is she still knocked
she's
out?
still poisoned at this point. She does not look good.
No, not the cursed one, but the drow rapey poison.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean Alethea? Alethea,
Yeah,
Alethea is still unconscious. You guys probably went unconscious for quite some time before you woke up in the Underdark. So
Okay, this is not going to be pretty. So, I throw Alethea through the portal first.
okay.
Like, I roll her through the portal. I'm like,
Yeah, so Tolly, you heard a thump behind your back, at first you think it's your friend coming through, so you didn't look back. But later you just feel like, wait a second, what hits my heel? And you turn around and see Alethea unconscious, face touching your heel, like.
Amazing.
Yep. She's still unconscious.
And then I take the other one and roll her through the portal. I'm like,
yeah. Yeah, Lavinia. Okay. As you roll Lavinia through the portal, she looks super painful at this point. Her expression looks intense, tightened up, and as she rolled over by Tully's feet, you can see that the spot that she was hit before, the poison was once just around the chest. You can see the spreading of the dark, kind of like poison energy kind of spreads outward. But right now, it just spreads all over like her torso, like the black, kind of like vine-like stuff just kind of cross through her body.
Is she screaming?
She's not.
In pain.
She's in.
Like, if I poke her, will she scream?
This is kind of the state that when someone is in excruciating pain but can't scream.
Okay, I still roll her through the portal.
Yeah, she's already rolled through the portal. That's what you did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to totally do my channel divinity and not basically cause fear to everybody within 30 feet, except for our companions that I know of, and I walk through the fucking portal.
Yeah. And so as you walk through the portal, okay, 4 bunch, that means. Okay. All right. So as you walk through the portal, you see like your friends are surrounded by the dwarves, but you don't give a crap about it. As your presence is now in front of them, what do you say?
I'm like, who dares question my slaves? Who attempts to stop our passage? And like, you gotta remember, I'm all dark and scary and shit.
All the dark
just like
kind of spreads as a phantom skeleton-like wing spreads on your back. You guys have seen this multiple times before, but damn, it's cool.
Cowering would be a good thing.
Yeah.
Just like
I immediately hit my knee and I'm like, I force the shakes. I'm so sorry, my lord.
Yeah.
I tried to convince them.
Lavinia, what would you do?
I did kind of have my own idea of how to handle the leader, but since that's apparently out the window now, I see Tally sort of start playing pretend, and I sort of take the lead after her.
Okay, so roll for performance check, Viking. You have advantage for that.
Would it be a deception? Because I'm totally bluffing right
hold
now.
on. Sorry. Intimidation first. Intimidation for...
Or that.
Yeah. You have advantage. And then, Ravani and Tully roll for performance.
This will be fun.
Alright. Since the combined forces... Terrible?
11.
I would say the dwarves didn't roll well. However, each of them are slightly higher than yours, so yeah.
Can 9 make a check on that to be the kicker?
Yeah. What would you like to do?
Performance. Because he should be like.
As I go down, I grab 9 by the belt and drag him down with me.
Yeah. 9 is like, what the? And he was dragged as well. It's like, oh, okay. I guess we're kneeling right now. Yeah, so for Viking, you were trying to intimidate them. I would say you can roll for performance if you wish to, but go ahead. Let's see. Yeah.
12 or an 18.
Yeah, 12. So
depends on if they're feared, right? If they're feared, it's 18.
Yeah. The thing is,
I have advantage.
Intimidation doesn't really. Yeah. Anyway.
No. Fear makes them.
They have to make a saving throw against the fear effect first, right?
Yes, but if they're feared, I have
Yeah,
advantage
so-
against them.
Yeah, definitely. So once you came through the portal, I'll describe what happens. So you came through the portal, you see a bunch of dwarves, and you spread your wings. Two of the dwarves, kind of sits down and at the sight of you, just kind of. You can see they must be the younglings of the group because there's no there's like just tiny small beards that are just growing, and they're like and you see the leader standing right there with sweats pouring down his face, but he's looking at you and says, "You can't fool us, you filthy assmeyer. I know what you are. Dark Lord my ass." And he spits on the ground. And he says, "If you two," and he's apparently talking to the ones that are crawling away right now, "don't stand up at this moment, I'll have you and your family chopped down and feed the porks. The orcs. The orcs. Blah.
Since this is actually my channel divinity,
Yeah.
I'm gonna be like, Asmire means nothing. I am a servant, or I am a commander in the Legion of Merkel. Bow before me, or I will smite you with the power of the undead legion I command."
All right.
Just-
okay. So they all look at each other in confused. You heard one of them say, "What is? So what is Merkel? It must have been something of their realm. I don't know. Does anyone know anything about Merkel?" And they were just starting to having this conversation like, "Oh, I don't know. What is a Merkel? Merkel is something? Is it some food? I don't know. Some leader? I don't know. They're just having a conversation right now, and you see the leader just facepalm like, "You idiots! What have I deserved for all this?"
With that being said, do I recognize where I am?
Okay, so all of you are looking around. You see tall buildings, actually. You see structures like you have never seen before. You see vines intertwined with the house pillars to form a strong and steady structures for each of the house. You see nature combines well with either stoneworks or how civilization just kind of combine with each other, like just lives in a harmony. You also see from afar a tower that is about sky high into the clouds, and there are like kind of symbols that are casting from the tower to the utmost like sky, forming like a gigantic kind of academic look. Yeah, that's a weird way to say it, but yeah, here goes. Yeah. So
do I recognize what realm this is?
sadly,
plane?
you don't. With that
With a
insight, all you know
16?
is with that insight, it's not any history check. So with that insight, you only notice that people doesn't seem to know who Merkel is. And
No, but like as with my background, I should know pretty much all the major players when it comes to death gods.
Yeah,
like
but
in
you
the different
would have
planes,
to roll
right?
for history or religions check to insight check will only take you so far. You're inspecting the looks of the others.
Well, no, what I was trying to get is if I know, like, say they're Azeroth, then I'll history check on whatever, right?
Yeah.
So history for 22.
Okay, so from the whispers you can gather, you heard the name of Lux coming out. This must be what this realm must be what Nine and Lavinia are referring to. Is their home.
Do I know the local death god?
The local death god? There are several. However, the Raven Queen is the one that spreads the widest, of her belief. For she is firm, but she is also fair.
I stand to them and I say, the Raven Queen is nothing but an equal of mine.
No, you didn't say that. You heard one of the dwarves trying to cover your mouth, and the leader that was threatening you suddenly turned pale as you mentioned she has no comparison towards Merkel, and he's like, just leave this, idiots. The priestess will be here soon. We got to go. We got to go. And you see all the Ironforge, like whatever the clan they call themselves at, they suddenly dodge into the shadows. All of them just kind of escape, running
call
as
after them. Do you know
fast
who's
as
a
they
healer?
could. Yeah.
I sort of start standing up too, and I sort of say out loud, why do I get the feeling Vikings' ruse is about to backfire horribly?
Yeah,
Let's
so all of them starting to run away. The leader is the last one that's been like running around. As all of them are about to vanish in the corner, you see the leader kind of stuck in place, just as he's about to dodge into the shadow. You see a dark, like a kind of like a grasping hand, kind of grabs him, chokes him by the neck, and lifts him up. And you saw about 5 of the dark hooded figure walking out of the shadow. Each of them are the cloak they're wearing are with dark feathers. Seems to be formed like some kind of bird feathers, possibly a raven. You see the hood that was lowering
touch the
down.
portal behind me, making sure it's like, is it open? Is it open yet? Can I go?
The portal, the portal. As you are touching it, you don't feel
It's
the
solid wall.
resistance. As you look back, the portal seems to be deactivated at this point.
Fuck.
Yeah, you see the stones that were carved on the side of the ruined circle kind of falls onto the ground. It was once glowing in red, as if it's filled with energy, but now it's just there's a crack in the middle of it, and it looks like it's entirely depleted. The 5 of them, with the cloak, that there's a on top of the cloak there's a beak-like kind of garnishment on top of it, and they are walking towards you.
I look back at the others. I'm like, get that fucking portal working. Let me go deal with this.
I'm going to back him up
walk
because
forward.
I'm magically useless, and I'm just going to immediately take a knee in front of them and just dive down.
You heard a soft voice.
I'm gonna start like backing, sort of backing the frick away and sort of going to where the portal is to try and figure out a way to maybe reignite it or something.
Yeah. You saw all of them just coming towards you, and says, "Who dares to talk about the Queen of Death? Who dares to chant her name in disrespect?"
I like approach and I'm like, I'm still kind of like dark.
Nine kind
gloomy.
of walks towards you and covers your mouth and says, "Don't worry, I got this." And he walks,
which totally surprises the shit out of me because I'm not expecting that from Nine.
He's been quiet this whole time, and he suddenly walks towards him. Everyone stand up. It's fine. I got this. And he walks towards the priestess. And as he walks towards them, he kind of bows. In a gesture, you don't seem to recognize. It seems ancient. Like the gesture itself composes of a series of hand gestures as well as a weird sound that sounds like ravens that crackles. And after he finishes his gesture, and he says, "It's good to see you, priestess." And they all respond as a nod, as a group, just bows before him and says, "Welcome home, Brother Nine." And that will be the end of today's sessions. Yes!
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm,
Nicely done. You guys managed to, yeah. Go on
We've
back.
got a friend in our
Yeah.
corner.
Yeah.
Oh my
Like,
god.
I was expecting something different to go back to Neverwinter, but anyway. Dice rolls are
We
dice roll.
Didn't actually attack anything this session at all.
Yeah,
No.
still.
I beat the shit out of something with my shield, but that was about it.
Still, I was rolling for dice roll for the randomness effect of the temporal disturbance, and yeah,
Sent us to 9, not Neverwinter.
yeah. I like there are about. I'll tell you this. There are about a third chance you will go to only a third that you will go back to Lux. You'll go to Lux. There are about 2/3 of the chances you will go to Neverwinter. Sorry, a third of the chances you will go to Neverwinter, and a third will go to some random places I set up encounters that you would probably have harsh fight. But that's beyond the case. Yeah. Anyway, yeah.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
And because all I care about is getting the others healed, I'm just like, civilization.
Yeah,
Let's go.
civilization, Let's go.
So I have to leave a note for myself
Mm-hmm.
because we're in this place, and
Yeah.
I'm like, I begrudgingly will have to say it to the group, but unless someone else remembers it.
Remembers what? I don't know.
I'm not
I don't
saying.
know anything. Yeah, you're not saying. You can leave the message to the others, and later on.
No,
question
I'm
me,
leaving
it's
it to
fine.
myself, and I'll RP it out.
Yeah.
But it's like I don't want to say it in character.
Okay.
But yeah.
Okay.
So
That's great. All right. So first of all, you guys all get experience of. Let's see. Because you finish a story arc, you manage to land in Lux. Let's see. Yeah. Level 6, leveling up. Let me check how much you still need to level up. You are now at level 6, right? 6th level. Yeah, you are leveling up. All of you reach 2,300. Sorry, 20,000, 23,000. Yeah, all of you are at this, so you all leveled up. All right.
yeah. So we're at
Okay.
23,000.
Yeah, you are all at 23,000, and now
'Cause
you're
we
level
didn't-
7.
2 experience last week.
Yeah.
I have a new aura, so it doesn't really help Ravini though. It is Aura of Hate.
Aura of hate. Yeah, right.
No, it's actually called Aura of Hate. It's a
Oh, really?
because I'm an Oathbreaker. Starting at 7,
you are still
the
an
Paladin,
Oathbreaker. Right? Yeah. True.
as well as the Paladin, as well as any fiends and undead. Oh no, I thought it was friends. Oh well, you're done. Basically, I get charisma
Yeah.
modifier added to my damage rolls
Nice.
from now on. So I'll turn you undead.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, not only do you guys level up, you also get, like I said, 500 gold pieces to your inventory.
Yep.
That'll be the first. And then, Tolly, mark down the figuring of wondrous power. Yeah. And this one will be a special one. I modify it with the the ordinary figuring of dogs. So usually it was like an onyx dog, and that's about it. And only speaks command words, and can see invisibility's object within the range. However,
Sweet.
now it's modified, so it not only sees invisibilities, it also sees it basically sees everything. Imagine it has X-ray vision through the realms. Sadly, it only knows one attack. Two attacks. It's like petrifying gaze and like bite. That's it. So yeah.
So can it peer through planes?
Yeah, it can.
Okay, because like if you have something that has etherealness,
Yeah.
or whatever, it can keep track of it.
Yeah.
Right. That's the benefit. Next level, which is level 8, is 34,000 experience.
Okay.
In case you write it down.
Yeah. So roll for hit dice right now, in case we forget next time. Yeah. I abandoned the old way, so just roll. And if you don't like what you have, take the half of the
The average.
Oh, sweet.
the average. Yeah, just take.
Yeah,
The
because I've just been taking
I was kind of just gonna take the average anyway. So
Okay. Maybe, yeah. I mean, a free roll is a free roll. If you want to take the average, it's fine. If you get,
That's still better than the average.
if you get something better than the average, it's
Oh no, it is.
Yeah.
That is the average.
It is the average.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Hmm.
9. Okay. All right.
So,
I will.
What were you planning on doing, Ravani, through the portal?
well, I was kind of gonna try and see if I could cast like suggestion on the leader to like get him to like get his people to like stand down, and, like take us to like to like the best hero the best hero in like the area we're in, something like that.
The only issue with that is unless you have the stealth caster, like where you can do it without Semitic, they're gonna see you like waving your hands, casting a spell, right?
I guess it's true.
It was a good shot. And then my backup was, well, oh no, I surrender here. Have my baton. Please fail the wisdom save and attack your friends.
All right. Yeah, and mark off the throwing glaive because
I know,
it's
I'm
broken.
so sad.
Yeah.
Can Ravani repair it?
There's nothing
It's
but dust. Yeah, so
Yeah.
nothing to repair from.
I'm not really sure how I feel about having the portal suddenly become impassable as soon as we go through it, though. Man.
Yeah. That is just something that happens.
I think I get a new spell.
Yeah.
Felt like kind of a cheat move, but I'll go
Right.
with. I guess
Yeah.
so.
Have you never seen Stargate? Like that happens all the time in Stargate. That's just
pass
normal.
through and
It's a one-way.
yeah,
You
it's
can't
a
go
one-way
back.
ticket.
Yeah, we gotta
Yeah.
redial. And then, yeah, oh,
Yeah.
jeez.
Doesn't matter if there's no DID on the other side. You're done. I watched a lot of Stargate earlier.
I loved it, dude, when I was doing my physics, and then Sam's doing the whole, like, time dilation aspect of wormholes and things. I was just like, shit, yes, someone research this.
I just finished watching all of The Office recently, like before this session,
Oh my god.
and it's like, oh, so much Office.
So
Yeah.
much. Yeah.
Some stuff that I had seen clips of, I didn't expect took place so far. Like it was the last season that stuff took place. Like when Dwight dressed up as the Queen of Blades as Halloween. That was just like one of my favorite clips. And like, if you've never seen it, YouTube it. He literally comes in and has the wings, and he's tied kitchen knives to the wings as the Queen
Oh
of
my
Blades.
God.
And they're like,
Oh.
you can't go into the office like that. It's like, but that is just stupid otherwise.
Oh my god.
It was pretty good.
That's amazing. Oh my god. Because my sister and her boyfriend were watching it all the time, so I'd like catch episodes as they went through, but nothing coherent.
That's kind of how I watch Scrubs. Scrubs is pretty good like that. It's
I'll-
non-sequential.
Mhm.
I admit I never really watched Stargate myself, so like